I'm really more fascinated about how effective is your communication. And if you see as a leader, the person who's able to connect with people
People.
is what you build business on. You can
Agreed.
talk about consulting, you do about strategy, you talk about
Agreed.
business development. It's all about communication, how
Mhm.
you connect with people, and if you're able to share your own personal story across, and people will get connected. And I
Right.
truly, we have to just observe around the environment and just get connected.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to FaceTime with Leaders by Directors Institute, World Council of Directors. I'm your host, Charu Mehra, and today we have someone with us whose career story is as dynamic as it is inspiring. Joining me is Mr. Pramod Shetty, a leader who has spent over 16 years at the crossroads of business development, strategic consulting, and operational excellence across the logistics and chain sectors. Mr. Shetty, it's a real pleasure to have you with us today.
Thank you, Charu. It's my pleasure to be a part of this podcast or this webinar, and I feel really humble and privileged, and hoping forward to have a better conversations with you and your audience.
Wow, and we are equally excited, Mr. Shetty. From revitalizing warehouse operations at Coffee Day to leading multi-million dollar business transformation across Qatar and India, your journey is a true testament on how innovation, persistence, and strategy come together. Today's conversation promises a lot of insights for anyone interested in building sustainable, future-ready businesses. So let's get on with it.
Thank you. Even I am very much excited for this. Thank you.
So, Mr. Shetty, while we did touch upon a few highlights of your career just now, I know there is so much more behind the story. And I'd love for you to take us back a little and walk us through your career journey in your own words, how it unfolded, the moment that matters the most, and how it all came together over the years.
Yeah. Thank you, Charu. Just to give a brief or to give some brief background about myself, I've done
Yeah.
my engineering in mechanical. Then I did
Mm-hmm.
my master's MBA in has a dual specialization, finance
Mm-hmm.
and operations. And
Okay.
then I did work for a couple of years and thought, let me do something more into an accelerator program. Then did
Mm-hmm.
called as Accelerated General Management Program from IIM Ahmedabad.
Okay.
That's how I moved
Okay.
from operations to tactical to strategy. So that's a
Okay.
very quick understanding about my
Right.
education background. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And anything about your career? How did you got ahead with it? Where you started working? Things like that.
Yeah, sure. Thanks. Thank you. So I started my journey as a management trainee, and I worked with a company called as Nagal. It's one of the major conglomerate in terms of leading supply chain solutions provider. So I
Right.
had extremely a good knowledge in terms of handling the entire supply chain as a suite, starting
Mm-hmm.
from air freight, sea freight, contract logistics, lead logistics, and consulting.
Mm-hmm.
So eventually it started my interest towards the same journey. Either you
Right.
talk about how you handle people, how you handle your operations, and eventually the technology adds a bigger part of it, how you handle, and main thing is how well you are able to assist your customers or help them
Right.
with adding value in their supply chain.
Right.
So where my interest developed into warehousing as a 3PL companies,
Mm-hmm.
consulting domain. That's where my more focus was entirely. If you see a span of 15, 16 years, it's
Right.
entirely in domain, supply chain management. Yeah.
Great, great. Thank you for sharing that so openly, Mr. Shetty. It's fascinating to hear the real journey behind the achievements. And, journey like yours shows how growth is built over many defining moments. So that's really wonderful. Thank you for sharing that with us. So, Mr. Shetty, when we talk about leading business transformations, it's easy to focus on the numbers, the projects completed, the revenue impacted. Having said that, you've successfully led over 15 large-scale business process transformations at GWC. I'd love to hear from you what, in your experience, is that one often overlooked secret that truly makes or breaks successful operational change on such a big scale?
Thank you. Thank you. I think it also makes me think about the journey, what I've gone through. There will be
Right,
up and down, but at the end goal was a certain success. Oh,
right.
major project that we have done, one of the project that we used to get RFQs from our sales team, and
Mm-hmm,
the solution what we build on, we work on all the different, as I mentioned, no, when supply chain has a entire
right,
suite that happens multiple nodes. So when you start from
right.
the origin, how it's been sent, how it's been packed, doing your shipment either air by sea, coming
Mm-hmm,
down to your destination location, then moving to your warehousing,
right.
how the warehousing, the how we need to plan in terms of the size of the customer need,
Mm-hmm,
and how to be optimized in terms of space, in terms of your processes, and then ultimately, based on the customer's need and demand, we need to cater their service. So
agree.
one of them, I would like to talk about the FIFA World Cup that happened in Qatar in the
Mm-hmm,
year 2022. So there are a lot
right,
of RFQs, lot of customers which has to be um, products are stored in our warehouse, and from our
right.
warehouse to distributed to the all the 8 different stadiums, to make
Agree.
that as a single control tower, and knowing, okay,
Mm-hmm,
when to move, how to move, what quantity to move. That's exact the, you can, when you talk about supply chain, that's main, this moving the right material at the right time, at the right place, at the right cost. So
right.
that's how was our main key role, because
Mm-hmm,
GWC was one of the leading, as a official logistics partner for FIFA World Cup.
right, right,
That
right,
was one of good good exposure, good learning for all the customers whom we serve. At the same time, we are able to help them in terms of adding value and moving the product at the right time at the right cost. That
right.
was one of the key success.
Wow, wow. That's such a, insightful. That has been so insightful, Mr. Shetty, because outside people, we don't know how things work, and it's always the quieter leadership moves that make the biggest difference. So what was happening in the background, no one knows, but obviously it was your planning, the way you executed things, that everything happened successfully. So that's kudos to you on that.
Thank you, thank you. It is the we call it as the attention to detail. No, whatever you do, just make sure drill down, drill down, drill down, drill down, and come
Right,
to know what to do, how to do, and that's how
right.
we had the amazing team which executed this entire process seamlessly.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, Mr. Shetty, when I look at your journey designing over 50 tailored solutions for RFPs across region, it clearly shows how much client needs and businesses, change according to the landscape, and it evolve when you work globally. So, I'm curious to hear, through your experience across Middle East and North Africa and Asia, what key shifts have you seen in client expectations over the years, and how has this shaped the way solutions need to be built today?
Yeah, thanks. I think this is also one of the, has a solutions engineer. When you get RFQs from your global headquarters, and we
Right.
have team, we have to present them the right solution.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to give one example, like um, giving a warehouse space of around 100,000 square meters.
Mm-hmm.
Customer tells, okay, this is my volume. You have to optimize, and because if you observe any product or any service, how we serve to a customer. For example,
Right.
let us take um, a Pepsi bottle. So we know the cost of one Pepsi bottle will be this 2 riyals,
Right.
but we cannot spend that cost for and handling the logistics as a one
Agreed.
riyals. It should be 0.001. So at
Right.
the end, customers are able to sell them at a good value or a good profitable for them.
Profit, right.
So at the same time, if you talk any product, which is you what we see um, in the supermarket or the Carrefours or the Lulus or the all the major markets,
Agreed. Hmm.
those products are actually stored in the warehouse, and
Warehouse.
stored in the warehouse, it gets shipped either by air freight or sea freight. At every single node, we have to know, can we able to save some cost for the customer? It can be in changing from vendor A to vendor B, or bringing some adding value in terms of showcasing the transparency, bringing some new
Hmm.
technology so that customer
Right.
can from his office to know where exactly the product is, when the product will reach is the destination location,
Hmm.
and when he need to order. So even for a customer, he has to know, for a customer, he has to properly forecast
Agreed.
how often he need to reorder the same product. So
Right,
he
right.
better insight when the products are stored in the warehouse and it has been shipped out. So as and when it goes shipped out, customer will come, okay, my orders are coming to a minimum order level, so that he can reorder and talk to his
Reorder.
purchase team. And there is some kind of transit time. No, we have to, when you
Right,
source, there will be a 1 month period of time which it comes by sea. Then
right.
it's like a, if there is a
Cycle.
gap, it's a cycle, and if there is a gap, then there will be a huge disruption in supply chain. I'm sure
Agreed, agreed.
we heard about the Red Sea crisis, the
Right.
Suez can
Yes.
crisis. There is a big cost, and now because of this tariff war, now the cost of the containers are going haywire. So we should,
Haywire.
yes, yeah.
Wow, wow, that's such a fascinating insight, sir. It's clear that understanding these subtle shifts is what keeps the solution relevant across regions. And hearing from someone who's worked across continents brings so much perspective to this. So, Mr. Shetty, what's truly fascinating is that while leading major business transformations and driving operational excellence, you've also carved a powerful parallel journey in public speaking and innovation, and even graced multiple TEDx stages. I'd love to hear, how do you personally balance both the worlds, the creative one and the corporate one along this, and this journey is filled with awards, milestones, and breakthroughs. Which accomplishment has personally meant the most to you, and why?
Yeah, thanks, thank you for the question. Yeah, for me, being one of the being a supply chain leader is one of my ambition, or one of the goal which I'm right now I'm just planning to accomplish.
Work.
That's the reason I'm part
Right.
of directors board. At the same time, I'm really more fascinated about how effective is your communication. And if you see, as a leader, the person who's able to connect with people
People.
is what you build business on. You can
Agreed.
talk about consulting, you do about strategy, you talk about
Agreed.
business development. It's all about communication, how
Hmm.
you connect with people. And if you're able to share your own personal story across, and people will get connected. And I
Right.
truly, we have to just observe around the environment and just get connected. When you talk
Right.
to people, just
Right.
observe, get connected, and able to see that one specific value that you can add to the person sitting besides
In
you.
front of you.
I'm
Yeah.
sure you will get connected instantly. And that's how I'm a part of multiple different
Wow.
organization, but a community like Toastmasters, that been a good journey for me. When I go and talk about my story, in fact, I've written a book on my own personal story as
Wow.
well, which see, it's all sharing my story and my journey towards how I've been, how I was
Right.
earlier, and how I'm right now. There's a huge
Right.
transformation. So
I'm
that's how
sure.
you start sharing your story. So sharing stories is what makes you get connected, and that same you'll get platform across. You can
Right.
be in one stage within Qatar or in India, or say
Right.
for any matter. Yeah.
Wow, wow, that's so incredible to hear, Mr. Shetty. And it's really inspiring to see how passion and discipline can go side by side. So that's really wonderful. And do tell me the name of the book that you've written, sir. I will. definitely, try to get
Yeah,
my hands on it.
it's it is on why do people stammer. I'm sure you may
Oh,
not be able to know that I have a stammering, but I'm very, very mindful how I'm speaking right now in front of
oh,
you, and I'm very, very mindful about it. So it's my own story. So when I talk about my journey, that's how people get connected. And when I'm interacting with my customers, my key accounts customer, they often tell Pramod, I want you to be my key account. I don't want someone else. That's
else.
how you get building that relationship. It can
Right,
be your executive level or the C-suite level. They want you to be their close partner or close acquaintance. They want they get comfortable with you because whenever
right,
I start interacting, I believe whatever I'm able to share, I'm able to add value, I believe to give 10 times more. So
right.
whatever the service I'm giving, I make sure that they get all the information, whatever they want, get at a one single shot. So no need to
Mhm.
get often calls
Off and
or
on.
often things.
Right,
I
right.
make sure that whatever customer is required, we make sure they get that, much better value.
Wow, wow. Congratulations on the book, sir. I will definitely try and get my hands on it and read through it. So that's really inspiring, sir. That's really inspiring. So as you step into this exciting new chapter, I'd love to hear what future aspirations continues to drive you personally, and how do you envision channeling all the experience and vision into contributing meaningfully at the boardroom level?
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, since I have a vast experience in the same domain when you talk
Right.
about logistics or supply chain or warehousing or consulting.
Mm-hmm.
I believe any problem can be solved. Um, it's not cannot be solved. Every
Right.
problem can be solved. Just write down your problem statement and just ask why. Why are we not able to solve, or why, or what is that one single problem? You start asking those questions again and again and again. You'll you will drill it down and come
Right.
to the exact.
Five whys.
Exactly, five whys, the five whys. So I'm
Right.
also big fascinated about all the Japanese techniques, and
Yes.
I'm a Six Sigma black belt. I'm an innovation 360 coach. So
Wow.
I try to learn all the new aspects, new fundamentals. Your theory of constraint is one of the very powerful methodology which we try to use for strategy consulting, understanding
Okay.
the why, and asking the right question. You will get the answer.
Answer.
Going around the bush and
Agreed.
talking, discussing, but asking the
Right.
right and powerful questions, that is what makes the business transform. And that is where I am aspiring to go to the next level, probably through your this medium, and
The
understand
curriculum.
what are the opportunities that we can explore. That's the reason my intention was to be one of the board members in the directors. Yeah.
Wow, wow, that's truly inspiring to hear, Mr. Chetty. And it's clear that you're stepping into this next chapter with both vision and purpose. And thank you for sharing that with us so openly. Thank you. In today's environment, where transparency, accountability, and long-term thinking have become more critical than ever, I'd love to hear how do you personally view the role of corporate governance in shaping resilient and responsible organizations for the future?
Yeah, see, I consider any, like, if we talk about corporate governance, it is all
Mm-hmm.
about how do you define that has a value, and it has to be drilled down from the
Drill
top
down.
down.
Agreed.
They should be a baseline mentioned by the board or by the C-suite level or the
Right, right,
executive management, telling, okay, this is what we want. If the objectives has been driven down from the top to the every single employee, people will
mm-hmm.
able to get that into their health, not into an experience. Like, it's not about experience, but it will be like an experiential learning. So they will do it as if it is their own company. So
Company.
people should be their own ambassadors of the company. Then they make sure
Right,
they drive that has a value. They drive that has the object, the ultimate objective to get
right.
the end goal. So so uh, so I believe that we should make sure whatever the corporate governance has been defined. It has to be drilled down to every single
Down.
employee, and they should able to
Right.
understand the top management's view. If you're able to see the end in mind,
Broader view. Yes.
broader view, exactly, that's how people will be able to channelize their thought. Because I've seen certain organization only at the top level, they know, okay, this is what I want,
Right.
but it's not
Right.
been percolated to the operations level, to a tactical level. Even at the people
Agreed.
who actually execute their
Execute.
operations, they're not even aware. So
Agreed.
I feel
Agreed.
once it's paid, if the organization is much flatter, you can go talk to directly to your top management or
Right.
directly to your CEO and tell, this is, I feel this is an idea can be implemented. Yes, it has to be given in not thinking, okay, it might be a threat, or it can be, it might, it can even take out, some people have that mindset, okay,
Yes.
of what if this idea come in, my job will
Come
be
in.
in a threat. No,
Right.
when
Right.
you are talking to your management, your top management, it should be very open. Your innovative idea should always be accepted, even if it's a I consider innovation is about experimenting. The more you
Agreed. Agreed.
experiment, the more you fail, the more faster you get the transformational idea. So that's how
Right.
ideas what we have taken across our management to our board. It's been accepted and taken it forward, and have seen a transformational. See, because when you talk about pricing, when you talk about business solutions, it's all about pricing. How best
Right.
you are able to give the right solutions to your client. Yeah,
Right. Right, agreed, agreed. And just giving the similar example from one of my previous experiences, I was leading a quality team, and we had this sort of a exercise every 3 months, which used to, we called it as an ideation drive, and everyone used to put in their ideas, no matter how small, whatever. And then we used to sort of, filter the ideas that can be converted into projects and take up those as projects. So it actually helps, and people become comfortable. They don't think that, what if I go and say, and then they find that this is stupid, that this cannot be done. So it gives people an opportunity to open up as well. And as you said, it should be a leadership responsibility and not just a requirement. Corporate governance.
absolutely, absolutely. That's how
Yeah.
when your top management comes to the ground floor, or probably at your shop floor, and talk about it, people become more open. People will
Open.
share openly, and they should
Right.
get
Right.
comfortable. Yes, even this is from the top. Sometimes the ideas, when you start generating or sharing to your managers, it's not been percolated or even submitted to the
Exactly.
top. So
Top.
some is a gap between, and supply chain, you call it as a this bullwhip effect. So the information should be passed rightly.
Yeah.
For example, when you talk about sales, or when the supply chain, this planner tells, okay, how much product we need to order. Salespeople tell, okay, order 100. He puts his some has a added
Added.
buffer. Then he tells to his planner, no, he adds his buffer 100. By the time it comes, it's a huge number. By the time he orders, the requirement is X, and but what has come is X plus Y. So
Why?
there will be huge
Right.
disruption happens. Yeah.
Agreed. Agreed. So, Mr. Shetty, you recently joined Directors Institute, and you're stepping into an exciting new chapter focused on boardroom leadership and government. I'd love to hear, how has your experience been so far?
Yes, I am really excited for this journey, because I am a little bit new to this approach. But when I understood the model, the way it will be taking the journey along, it looks fascinating and exciting. I just really started the journey of that LMS learning. I'm lost
Right.
learning it, and
Right.
I'm little bit more focused on attending your live sessions, learning from the experts. I believe
Mhm.
the more we learn from each other, that is what rather
Agreed.
than from the books, it's more
Books.
about your learning from your peers, your experts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm very excited for that.
Wow, wonderful, sir. Really wonderful to hear that. And it's also inspiring to see that, leaders like yourself who've already had such a vast experience are still looking forward to learn new things and prepare for the next level. So I really wish you all the best, and I really hope that the curriculum, this program, helps you achieve whatever goals that you have for yourself. It adds on to it. So all the best for you for that, sir.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes.
So, Mr. Shetty, hearing you today was a real reminder that leadership isn't built in a straight line. It's built through movement, reinvention, and constant learning. Thank you for bringing such a sharp and refreshing perspective to this conversation.
Thank you. It is my pleasure to be a part of your webinar. And for me, it's always a learning journey. And I truly believe, there's, someone rightly said, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. So for me, every day is a set single step towards learning and learning that and how we can also share. I believe what we learn and we should also able to share. Then
Share.
only when you start sharing, then the and I'm sure when you start try to share with people, it comes 10 times much faster,
Agreed.
much
Agreed.
straighter way. So I believe in
Agreed.
that.
Agreed, agreed. And that's exactly what we love here on FaceTime with Leaders by Directors Institute, real conversations with real leaders who are still writing their best chapters. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll be back soon with more stories that don't just inspire, they make you think. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great day.